Are there people in your family that have ADD?
We never really talked about it. I think a lot of my family suffer from a lot of it, but it was an untold thing. Like mental health wasn't really a focus point. It was just, you're troubled kids. We're the black sheep of the community.
Brock, what a joy. Thank you so much for doing this.
I think I need to thank you for doing this for me. We're not there yet, but I'm excited.
Well, if you do what I ask you to do, it's going to dramatically change the trajectory of your life. This is going to be really important for you. So I read your history. I looked at your testing. I looked at your scan, so I have a really good idea what's going on. But tell me your goal. How can I be the most helpful to you?
I think just trying to make sense of all of that information, of obviously my past and kind of what I want to do in the future. I want to stay focused. I want to be able to handle how I interact with people. I want to be able to handle situations appropriately, or understand why I get the feelings I do. And then ultimately, I want to be the better version of myself, for my wife, for my family, for me.
When I looked at the goals from the paperwork, help your focus to be better, have better control over your temper, and improve your memory. That you noticed your memory is not as good as it could be.
Correct.
And then some of the big things from the history, played rugby professionally, played football for a bit, both brain damaging sports.
Correct.
Maybe for our audience, I mean, we get people from New Zealand and Australia, but mostly here in the US. Talk a little bit about the impacts you take playing rugby.
I think with rugby, even as opposed to football, we try and put ourselves in an appropriate position, but regardless, you're still stopping and there's no helmet on my brain. So when we practice, we're taking hits every day. We're stopping we're stopping quite instantly as opposed to kind of slowing down. And so that happens from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, then we go on a plane, then we slow down Friday, then we play on Saturday, we have Sunday or Monday off, and then you're back to full contact Tuesday. And that's for 22 weeks of a rugby league season. Yeah. So that's quite, when you put it in terms of that, there's plenty of contact. I didn't think about it as much as I was playing the game. I thought we were being safe, putting ourselves in a safe position. But interesting to see what the results have to say of all those years of that.
How many years did you play rugby?
Sure, I have 10 years of contact. Yeah.
That's a lot. And so head contact in rugby can be head to head, head to knee, head to ground.
Yeah.
What else?
Yeah, you got, I think everywhere. If you collide with a head clash, hit with a shoulder, a loose arm, a high tackle, we try and protect your head. But I think ultimately it comes from a hip, putting your head in the wrong position, or the ground. Yeah, anywhere. This is rugby. It's not it's anything gets hit.
And how many concussions do you think you had where your head got hit and then you weren't quite right afterwards?
I think in that situation, I've only felt that a couple of times, like a handful of times, more so playing football. Especially when my first year of playing on the defensive line, and then just like offensive linemen just running across my face and my head just getting hit. That was when I did feel it a lot more. I felt like a bit of a headache after, or kind of like dizziness. But I don't think I never failed a concussion test, and I never really kind of felt like I had to black out like to that extent. I felt sick or nauseous a couple of times, but only a handful with rugby and football.
So never where you lost consciousness.
No, I think it was one time where I think I got lost consciousness. So probably lost consciousness. And that was just from a wild elbow, and it caught me in the face. And then it rattled me. I kind of was just like, what was that? Realized what it was. And I actually bit through my lip. And then, so I think that was the one time I can remember with certainty that like, I don't know what happened.
Are there people in your family, mom's side, dad's side, that have ADD?
We never really talked about it, but I know for a fact if my dad went to a doctor, he would 100% have it, because me and him are very similar in everything, which is not a good thing sometimes, because I know my dad bounces around from projects. And then I think a lot of my family suffer from a lot of it, but it was an untold thing. Like mental health wasn't really a focus point back then.
Right.
And so I think we just kind of like took it as what it was, which was like, oh, you were just a troubled child, or you were just causing chaos. And a lot of my lessons I learned was from my older brothers and sisters.
What do you mean?
Like my oldest brother, like he was very sports dedicated. And then during a period of time, he went from 18 as an adult, ended up in and out of trouble with the law and drug abuse. And then there was my other brother, who was under the age of 18 as a juvenile, was in and out of trouble with the law and drug abuse. And then my other sister was an alcoholic as she got older, just from personal experiences and issues she was exposed to. And so I was much younger than them. And I guess I was like, I could see what happens when you choose those choices. So I've always kind of held on to that one. But going back to, all of that. And then I guess it was just normal. We didn't really think of it as like anyone had any ADHD or anything like that. It was just, you're troubled kids. We're the black sheep of the community.
So let's look at your brain. So we did a study called SPECT, and SPECT looks at blood flow and activity. It stands for Single Photon Emission Computed Tomography. It's a nuclear medicine study that looks at blood flow and activity. It's my favorite imaging study, and I've done 250,000 of them, so I'm obsessed. This is what a healthy scan looks like. It's not yours. This is what we're going to compare it to. When we look at your brain, your frontal lobes are really low in activity, focus, forethought, judgment, impulse control. Your temporal lobes, and it's a trauma pattern. I mean, I've just seen it a lot. Your frontal lobes are a little bit flat, and your temporal lobes, they sit in this cavity right here that's got a very sharp bony ridge right in the front. You can see it's damaged here in the front. Now, if I was you, I would go, can you make it better? And clearly we could make it worse, right? You keep doing marijuana, add more alcohol.
I mean, I'm in.
Yeah, we gotta make this better. And then the active scan, your emotional brain is really busy and everything else is pretty quiet. Do you play racket sports?
No.
I want you to start.
I'm
serious.
When we get to join these pickleball kids or what?
Yeah. Or ping pong, or tennis,
okay,
or badminton,
okay,
or racquetball. People who play racket sports live longer than everybody else. People who play football, rugby, and soccer live less long than anybody else. So this is a study from England.
That's wild.
Yeah. So calm your emotional brain, activate your thoughtful brain, and you're going to get way closer to your
There's not much going on there. It's 3 dots.
Yeah,
well, at least I care, you know?
Your emotional brain's busy.
Yeah, I know that.
But I'm super excited.
I am too.
Because I know we can make this better. So low overall activity, probably from multiple concussions. I also think you have ADHD. So let's talk about what we can do. So optimize and repair. Our goal is for you to be optimal, right? I mean, that's you. You want to have an optimal life. Mm-hmm. So when you leave here, you have a choice. You can either go, damn, I'm really messed up and get sad about it. Or you can go, I already knew there was a problem. We have a map. I'm doing the program and your life's going to be better.
I choose the program.
Yeah. So, labs, packets, and in the packets, multiple vitamin, but not a normal one. It's a souped up one that's very special. It actually has the same amount of nutrients in studies that looked at, can I decrease the conversion of mild memory problems to severe memory problems? So it's a very special multiple. It's one I actually take every day. It's got a brain boost to help repair and high dose of omega-3 fatty acids. So 2 packets a day, take them every day, take 2 every day. Advance blood flow to increase blood flow to your brain. And I want you to do hyperbaric oxygen. In addition, let's see if we can find you someone to do EMDR or past trauma. That will help your temporal a lot because it'll start decreasing your triggers. So if I repair this part of your brain, decrease the triggers, you're going to do so much better. So I want you to stop any drug or alcohol use just as long as you want a healthy brain.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
I make something called Focus and Energy, sort of a natural stimulant. Yeah. And the goal isn't medicine or not. The goal is your best function. And, you know, we have to be honest. You've been medicating yourself for a long time.
Yeah.
And I always say, let me do your drugs. I'm way better at them than you are.
What does ketamine have impact on the body?
It's an anesthetic.
Okay.
And you don't need an anesthetic. I get rid of that. I get rid of the marijuana. I get rid of the alcohol. They're all downers. And your brain doesn't need a downer. It needs more energy. So anything that decreases your energy damages your brain. So your brain's been hit way too many times. But the cool thing is it's still mendable. It's
okay.
And every day I want you to ask yourself this question. When you go to do something, it's good for my brain or bad for it? And if you can answer that with information and love of yourself, love of your family, love of the reason God put you on earth, you just start making better decisions. Good for my brain or bad for it? Because you have no idea what your potential is. You just don't. And I think we can get you a healthy brain. You're going to get much closer to it. And then your self-esteem is going to go way up. Questions for me?
No, I think I had plenty of questions throughout of it. I think now I just want to get going. I've got the recipe, I got the plan, and I do like having a plan. And this is good to know. I think I do need to get on top of EMDR so I don't keep dragging that one out. So that will be a priority.
I mean, some of the big things today, EMDR, you bet, stopping any drug or alcohol use, hyperbaric oxygen, maybe a stimulant.
I wouldn't mind. That sounds like fair. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy. I know I have issues, but I also want to get better at it.
Any other questions for me?
No, that's it. I think I might print off that scan on my brain and put it up on my wall so I remind myself every day.
You get a copy.
Perfect.